So I had been looking for a good pair of gaming headphones recently, and the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro Wireless consistently came up as one of the best, if not the best pair of gaming headphones you can buy, even more than 2 years after its original release. So I bought a pair. Let's talk about them. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Got a headphone review video thing for you today, as I've been using the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro Wireless for several weeks at this point for both work and gaming. Out of the box, you get the manual, 2 USB-C to USB-A cables to connect both an Xbox console and a PC/PS5, one 3.5mm audio cable, a pop filter for the headset's microphone, an extra battery for the headphones, the headphones themselves that are inside a nice little tote bag, and of course, the base station for the 2.4 GHz connection. Now, specifically, the version I have is the Xbox version, but there is also a PlayStation version. Both versions work with PC, but I'd honestly recommend just getting the Xbox version, as the Xbox version can be used in conjunction with a PC/PS5, but the same cannot be said for the PlayStation version. This is because Microsoft has its own licensing and protocol requirements, and the Xbox port on the Xbox version of the base station is designed to meet that requirement. The outer headband is made of metal, with the inner headband made from an elastic fabric, which is designed as a ski goggle style suspension strap. It's adjustable, and overall it really helps alleviate pressure off the top of the headset. I've been using the Sony XM5s as my daily wireless headphones, and as much as I love those headphones, the top of the headband can bother my head just about here after prolonged use due to the size of my big head. Wearing headphones for as long as I do, the inner headband design of the Nova Pro Wireless is something that I can easily appreciate. The adjustable hinges and the material around the ear cups are made of plastic, which I'm not a big fan of. Given the price of these headphones, it would have been nice to have something a bit sturdier. For example, the Kingston HyperX Cloud 2s, which I used for years, have aluminum hinges, and those headphones are less than half the price of the Nova Pro Wireless. The cups swivel 90 degrees, and I can wear them around my neck, but even when they're fully extended, I can feel them around my neck being a little tight, so I'm probably not going to wear them like this very often. The headphones feel fine wearing glasses and even wearing a VR headset. Inside are 40mm drivers with a frequency range of 10 to 22,000 Hz and a 38 ohm impedance. They're relatively easy to drive and keep distortion under 1%, which delivers clean, detailed audio even at higher volumes. Under the magnetic plate on the left ear cup is a USB-C port, which you can use to charge the headphones. However, it's super awkward to use, likely because Steelseries doesn't really want you charging the headphones this way. This is because under the magnetic plate on the right ear cup is a lithium-ion battery that can be swapped out when low and charged through the base station. As mentioned, Steelseries packages 2 batteries with the headphones, which allows you to use one battery in your headphones while perpetually charging the other one in the base station. Steelseries refers to this phenomenon as the Infinity Power System, and honestly, it sets the Nova Pro Wireless apart from other headphones. Theoretically, you'll never be out of battery as long as you're near your home base. Get it? Base. The batteries are labeled so you can tell which way they're to be inserted into the headphones. The headphones automatically turn themselves back on, so you don't actually have to manually turn them back on when you swap out the batteries. The batteries themselves are each rated for up to 22 hours while taking only a few hours to charge. When the battery is getting low, the base station will notify you by flashing a low battery symbol at the top left of the screen. And if that's not enough, the Nova Pros will also emit a beeping sound when the batteries get critically low. On the left side of the headphones is the power button for the 2.4 GHz connection, which is independent of the Bluetooth button on the right side, so you can toggle both independently, which is actually quite awesome. You can configure the headset via the GG software to automatically turn on the Bluetooth when you turn the headset on, but I do prefer the independent controls here. What is pretty awesome is that the Bluetooth and the 2.4 GHz connections can be run simultaneously. Being able to, say, do some gaming while maintaining a connection to my laptop or my phone is actually quite valuable. And of course, having a separate Bluetooth connection easily allows you to use these headphones while you're on the go. There's a volume control wheel on the left side, which works just fine. With Sonar, which I'll talk about shortly, you can short press the volume control wheel, which lets you adjust both your primary and secondary virtual chat driver, as well as being able to long press it down to begin scrolling through the menu options on the base station. There's also the mute mic button that, of course, quick mutes your mic, whereby a red light gets emitted from the top of the mic that acts as an indicator when the mic is muted. The headphone is retractable and has a gooseneck design, so it can be adjusted to any angle you want. As mentioned, the mic does come with a foam windshield, but I wouldn't recommend using it as it prevents the mic from being retracted all the way back to its original position. That said, when the mic is fully retracted, it camouflages itself well as part of the headphone design, so if you want to use these out while in public, they do look like normal headphones. I'll give a demo of the mic a bit later in the video. Now, due to ANC or active noise cancellation, the Earpads are made of faux leather as they need to make a proper seal with your head in order to eliminate as much ambient noise as possible. They can get somewhat hot after prolonged use, but I don't find it to be too bad. The Earpads are detachable and they can be replaced, so that is appreciated. If you're not familiar with how ANC works, microphones in the headset pick up surrounding noises around you, and the ANC system generates inverse sound waves, which cancels out the noise through a process called destructive interference or phase inversion. The Nova Pro Wireless uses a 4-mic ANC system. There are 2 mics on the outside of the ear cups to pick up the ambient noise around you, and 2 inner mics behind the ear cups that fine-tune the ANC by detecting any residual noise that the outer mics didn't capture, all before it reaches your eardrums. ANC can be enabled or disabled via the base station, and you can set transparency levels as well, which determines the amount of outside noise you can hear through the headphones. And just for transparency can be turned off by double tapping the power button. Now, as far as how good the ANC is on the Nova Pro Wireless, I tested them out with no audio playing through the headphones and found them to be okay. They definitely work fine, but I can still hear ambient noise around me, even minor noise around me. For example, I have in the hallway just outside the studio a washer and dryer, and when it's on, I can definitely still hear the low hum of the machine, even with ANC turned on. Now, obviously, when you're actually playing video games and sounds are being played loudly through the headphones, you can hear a lot less ambient noise, but that isn't necessarily a direct product of the ANC. For example, my daily wireless headphones are the Sony XM5s, as I mentioned, and in my opinion, those are far better at noise cancellation than the Nova Pros are. Sony equips the XM5s with a total of 8 outer mics for noise cancellation, as opposed to the Nova Pros 2. The XM5s and XM4s and also XM3s for that matter, all have a dedicated chip for their ANC, namely the QN1 processor, which is optimized for a broad range of frequencies and dynamic noise environments. The base station is a standout feature of the Nova Pro wireless and allows you to configure a slew of headphone settings. As mentioned, you can adjust the volume of your primary and secondary drivers, turn off and on ANC, and adjust the mic volume. You can also adjust a slew of system settings, from some screen display options to adjusting the brightness of the mic's LED. As mentioned, the other primary feature of the base station is that it acts as a battery charger for the 2 included batteries. It has a line-in port, so you can connect an external audio source like a phone to listen to through the headset, as well as a line-out port to send audio to any device that accepts a line-level signal like an external mixer or a set of speakers. The actual build quality of the base station is fine. The entire thing, including the knob, is made of some kind of injection molded plastic, though it does have some rubber attachments below it, presumably to avoid slipping. However, it's extremely light at 181 grams, so pressing the knob in always requires me to hold the base station from the back. The screen itself is a monochrome OLED screen and is nice and clear. At the top left is the indicator that the headphones are connected with the current battery level. The top middle shows the current connection type, and the top right shows the inserted battery's current power status. The rest of the screen differs depending on the display mode selected, namely detailed and simple. For EQ settings, you'll definitely want to use Sonar instead of the base station. Now, if the overall package you're buying here is, say, an apple pie, then the headphones and the base station are only half of the pie. The other half of the pie is Sonar. Sonar is effectively an audio suite of tools that fully unlocks the true capabilities of the Nova Pro wireless. It allows you to adjust the EQ settings of all of your virtual audio devices with precision, of which Sonar gives you game, chat, media, auxiliary, and microphone, with chat being routed through the secondary driver, which, to note, is certainly not as refined as the primary driver here. You can create a custom preset from scratch, use one of the several built-in presets, or customize a built-in preset to your own liking. Once you find a preset you like, you can add it to your favorites for easy access later. For example, with the virtual game audio device, you can select from a slew of preset options based on different games. Now, even if the game you want isn't already on the list, you can pick a game from a similar genre and begin customizing it to your heart's content. I tried this out with games like Resident Evil 4, Hell Let Loose, and Counter-Strike 2, and the headset sounded absolutely amazing. Resident Evil 4 was spooky and immersive, and Hell Let Loose sounded great, with the footsteps of my teammates being easily discernible. It sounds cheesy, but it's as if the headset completely came to life from the default flat-toned EQ out of the box. The overall gaming experience on the Nova Pro wireless is honestly simply awesome. Whether you're trying to hear where your opponent is coming from on the CT side, backstabbing your enemies as a spy in TF2, or finding your way through Brennenburg Castle in Amnesia: The Dark Descent, everything can be fine-tuned to the exact experience you want. The mic can also be adjusted with Sonar, and that's also something I recommend doing. Okay, so out of the box, the microphone sounds pretty nasally, in my opinion, and I've actually been told by others in calls that it sounds somewhat compressed and just overall not very good. However, if we do go in here and tune it with Sonar, let's try the less nasal preset. You can hear now a little bit of a difference, and to me it actually makes quite a big difference to the overall sound. It just sounds a whole lot better just by applying a simple preset with Sonar. Alright, so this is what the deep voice preset sounds like. Again, sounds a lot better than the flat EQ out of the box. Just for comparison again, let's turn it back to the normal preset. Again, it doesn't sound very good. Sounds a little bit compressed to me. Just for others, you can do broadcast low pitch, broadcast high pitch. As I mentioned, let's say you like, let's say the less nasal here. You can go into the less nasal and then you can further customize it. A lot of fine-grained control here. Sonar really allows you to just tweak things as much as you want. Again, if you're not using Sonar with these headphones, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. As you can tell, it does sound better. My overall opinion is that the
mic itself out of the box is pretty subpar, but it does improve with Sonar. So assuming you're using Sonar, I'd classify it as mid-level, but if you're using it with Bluetooth out in the wild, it's definitely not the greatest sounding mic.
Oh, and in case you were wondering, this is what the microphone sounds like when it's fully retracted back into the headset. As you can tell, it sounds absolutely horrible. And if you're out in the wild and someone calls you, you'll definitely want to extend the microphone back out again. Otherwise, this is what they're going to hear on the other end of the call. Oh, and one other thing, there is the mute mic button on the left here. So if I press it, you won't be able to hear me, just like this. And now you should be able to hear me again. So yeah, just a really nice, quick, convenient thing if you want to mute the mic on the go. This headset isn't perfect either, and there are a few things that I didn't like. These might sound like nitpicky things, and that's because they are, but I wanted to note them down all the same. For starters, the magnetic plates on the sides of the ear cups annoyingly attract all sorts of dust, and when they do, it's somewhat hard to clean them off. Second, the beeping noise on the base station when you press the back button is extremely loud. Like, I haven't found a way to turn this thing down. In fact, it's so loud that I actually have to move the ear cups off my ears before I press the back button. Third, the plastic around the ear cups also extends to the controls, which makes them feel a little cheap, especially the volume control wheel. Given the price here, I expected something just a bit more premium. Last, the USB-C port on the side of the headphones for charging is just a weird design and immediately reminds me of the stupid Magic Mouse design that Apple did some time ago. So as of the making of this video, the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headphones currently retails for $450 Canadian, or about 310 US dollars. Even more than 2 years after its release. So it's still extremely expensive, especially for a pair of gaming headphones. Having said that, the Nova Pro Wireless feels like a complete package to me. The Infinity power system, the base station that shows headphone and battery statuses, as well as giving you quick access to adjusting your volume mix, the headset controls, simultaneous Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz connections, and a comfortable wearable design that you can wear both at your desk and out in the wild. Bluetooth performance is solid, and while not as good as a 2.4 GHz connection, still sounds great. Sonar is fantastic and really unlocks the capabilities of the headset. In my opinion, it's effectively mandatory to download GG and use Sonar with the Nova Pro Wireless. If you don't, you're basically leaving a whole bunch of untapped potential on the table, and you're never going to truly unlock the full capabilities of these headphones, and you'll definitely want to, given how much you're going to be paying for these. Speaking of that, is it worth the price? Well, for a gaming headset, and that's key, for a gaming headset, it sounds amazing and packs a whole lot of features. It really does it all. SteelSeries has honestly done a great job here, and I don't regret my purchase at all. But that's just me. Ultimately, you'll need to decide whether the extra features are worth it to you and whether you think paying this kind of money for gaming headphones is worth its cost. For comparison, my planar magnetic headphones that I use for editing, the HiFiMan Edition XS, which is more of an audiophile grade pair of headphones, is currently even cheaper than the Nova Pro Wireless at $410 Canadian as of the making of this video. For me, this is still an amazing pair of gaming headphones, even in 2025, and they have become an essential part of my daily setup. That's about all I have for this one, guys. If you're still here, please drop me a GG down in the comments below, just so I can give you a like for sticking around until the end of the video. If you like this video, please remember to hit that like button, and please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you know when I release new videos. Doing all of those things really does help me out in growing this small YouTube channel. Thanks again to all of you who consistently watch and support my videos. It truly means a lot to me. I've got more tech, desk setup, and gaming content planned as usual, so please stay tuned for that. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.